Okay, here is TSLA Tesla. This finishes at $1,023.50, and that is down 12% today. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. Okay, here is AMC. This finishes at $39.93 today, and that is down 11.38%. So we talked about this one yesterday. Yesterday was a big day. It was earnings. A lot of apes were hyped for it. A lot of apes thought it was going to moon, and unfortunately it did not. We had a sell the news event, and the earnings were actually really good. They beat on EPS, they beat on revenue, earnings were really good, and the stock sells off, which honestly was pretty expected. Usually stocks do not go up during earnings unless there's a massive surprise. So, usually if the stock beats earnings, it'll pull back a little bit, selling the news, and if it misses earnings, it pulls back a lot. It goes straight timber. So in this case, it had good earnings, it sold the news, down 11.38% today. So very unfortunate, but, not too bad. So the momentum continued into today, and due to just the overall market selling off, this was a pretty nasty day for AMC. But not much else to say, so let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, we do have this huge bull flag, pennant, symmetrical triangle, whatever you want to call it. This has been consolidating ever since this squeezed way back in May and June. It's been consolidating for over 5 months here. But yeah, right now, it looks like it's consolidating between 47 and 36. So I do expect this to keep consolidating for a little bit, maybe a couple weeks. But the price slowly is consolidating to where it should be at. And then after that, it should break out again. So yeah, bull flag, consolidation, that is currently a bullish indicator because that is telling us after consolidation, this should break out again. This also looks like a complete cup, top of the cup being around 45, bottom of the cup being around 35. And it looks like the handle formed at 40. And the next step would be consolidation and breakout in this cup and handle. So that would currently be a bullish indicator because the cup form, handle form, and like I said, next step is consolidation and breakout. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 40.20 and $39. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 40.20, 41.95, 43.25, 44.60, 46.15, 47.95, 49.55, 51.25, 52.40, 53.90, 55.15, 56.75, 58.05, 59.40, 61.10, 62.35, 65, 68.75, and then the high of 72.62. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 39, 37.60, 36.05, 34.80, 33.65, 31.95, 30.90, 28.95, 26.05, 26.35, and then 17.30. And there is support below that, but we're not going to discuss that right now. Should not be too relevant. So right now at this current price, 39.93, the channels to the upside and the downside are pretty decently sized, so expect a good amount of price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 62.40 to the upside, the channels open up and get real wide, so expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 62.40. And to the downside, if/when this breaks 28.95, the channels open up and get real wide, so expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 28.95. The RSI is currently at 51, so that is very average. So according to the RSI, this current price, around $40, is around fair market value. And this did 38 million in volume today, which is half of the average. Average is 80 million. So that is very suspicious. Makes me think that this sell-off today was a fluke. The sell-off today was not confirmed by the volume. So like I said earlier, we have two bullish indicators in the bull flag / symmetrical triangle and the cup and handle here. We have neutral indicators in the RSI and really no bearish indicators. We also have the strong social media sentiment going for this, which is also bullish. So yeah, in the short and long term, this does look bullish to me. And really not much has changed since we talked about this yesterday. Yesterday I said that this would consolidate around 40.50. Seems like I was a little bit wrong. It's at 40 now. So I was a little bit off, but pretty accurate. So yeah, I'm going to stick to what I said, and I think this is going to consolidate for another probably couple weeks, around 40 bucks. And then eventually this should break out again once this is done consolidating. But it appears like we do have a bit of time before this is done consolidating. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I think this current price of 40 bucks is an excellent entry. It really shouldn't go too much more to the downside. So I would support buying in here at 40. And if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. I really don't think this is going to break 36. If it breaks 36, then that might be really bad. But it appears like this should not break $36. And again, you may have to wait a little bit for this to consolidate before this breaks out again. But as long as you're patient and you hold, eventually this should break out and you should make a lot of tendies here. Going long looks like a good play here to me. I would support that. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that and I would not recommend that. Like I said, a lot of bullish indicators here, no bearish indicators, doesn't have too much downside potential. So I think at most you could make 10% here going short. Like I said, probably shouldn't go below 36. And you're exposing yourself to a lot of risk of this breaking out and you getting squeezed out. So, it's just not that smart here. Not really worth it. Going for a 10% gain at most and exposing yourself to a lot of risk here just doesn't make too much sense. So, yeah, it's a pretty risky play. I would say a high risk, low reward play. Yeah, it doesn't make too much sense. So, I would not do that and I would not recommend that. So, sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today, but just hang in there. This should come back up eventually and break out eventually. So, maybe average down, not financial advice. And good luck to everyone currently in this stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is AMC. Here is NAKD, Naked Brand Group. This finishes at 75.1 cents today, and that is up 5.98%. So we very briefly talked about this one yesterday in the aftermarket when the big news dropped, and the momentum continued into today, and this went all the way to number 2 on StockTwits today. A lot of mentions, so we'll talk about it. So first of all, let's go over the big news. The company announced it entered into a definitive agreement under which Naked will acquire the outstanding stock in 3 entities comprising Central Automotive Group. And for those of you who don't know, Central Automotive Group is a EV company. In addition to that, they registered for a $300 million stock offering, which is really bearish, but it seems like the market doesn't care too much. But yeah, at first I was very confused because Naked is a clothing company. So I was like, what the hell are they doing in the EV space now? Still blows my mind. But it seems like the market really liked this news. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes in the future. I'm not a believer yet. I'm still baffled by this. But who knows? This could be the next big thing. So not much else to say. Let's go ahead and analyze here. So this does look like a complete cup here. This looks like a complete cup and handle here. Top of the cup around 95 cents. Bottom of the cup around 55 cents. And then this pulled back to 75, which is where the handle should be. So if this is in fact a complete cup and handle, which it looks like right now, this should consolidate around 75 cents and eventually break out again. So that is currently a bullish indicator. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 81.75 cents and 73.12 cents. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 81.75 cents, 87.8 cents, 94.71 cents, 104, 110, 117, 123, 132, 138, 145, 156, 164, 185, 225, and then the high of 340. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 73.12 cents, 66.21 cents, 60.16 cents, 55.84 cents, 47.2 cents, 41.16 cents, 34.25 cents, and 34.25 cents. And there is support below that, but we're not going to discuss that right now. Should not be too relevant. So right now at this current price, 75 cents, the channels to the upside and the downside are decently sized. So expect a good amount of price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 165 to the upside, the channel starts to open up and get real wide. So expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 165. The RSI is currently at 64, so not quite overbought and overvalued, but quickly approaching that, so be careful, guys. And this did 354 million in volume today. Very significant volume, so this pump today was confirmed by the volume. There's actually a gap here at 71 cents. Very hard to see unless you zoom in, but there is a gap there, small gap. So that is currently a bearish indicator that is telling us this stock should pull back to 71 cents to fill that gap. And that's probably going to happen in the short term. So it's a little hard to tell where this is going to go in the short term and the long term. But I'm going to be honest, guys, in my opinion, I think it's going to pull back to 71 to fill the gap. And then I really don't think it's going to move that much. I mean, I think longer term, the stock will go up. But I think this was just a whole bunch of PR for a quick pop. And the stock is going to go back to trading how it usually does. Pretty sideways, very slow gains. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is really going to be the next big thing. But like I said, I'm just not buying it yet. Going from a lingerie company to EVs. I'm not convinced. That being said, 75 cents is a pretty good price for what potentially could come out of this. So I don't really see any downside to going long here at 75 or at 70 cents. Either it's going to moon or it's not going to move much. But it really shouldn't tank, There is very strong support at 47. It really shouldn't go lower than 47. So while I'm not a big believer in this stock, it's certainly worth a shot. It's very cheap and has upside potential, not too much downside potential. So yeah, I don't really love the play, but I could support going long here around 75. I'd probably wait till 70. Yeah, going long would be a medium risk, high reward play, I would say. No guarantees anything is going to happen, but it's definitely worth a shot. And again, who knows? This really could be the next big thing. I'm not convinced yet, but maybe it will be. Again, I'm not really loving going long here, but for the price and for the potential, I think it's worth a shot. So I'm not going to do it, but I would support going long. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. This is a meme stock. The apes are all over this right now. Very strong sentiment. And like I just said, a lot of upside potential. Not too much downside potential. I mean, it may come back down to 48, but that's pretty unlikely. I think at most this is going to come back down to 60. So I would say at most there's a 20% downside here. And that's decent tendies, but you're exposing yourself to a lot of risk of getting squeezed out. So I just don't think going short is a good idea here. Way too risky. There are way better plays for going short, and this is not one of them. Honestly, I would just stay away from this altogether, personally. Like I said, I'm not convinced. So I just save my money and look for other plays. But this is trending right now, and a lot of people do believe this will be the next big EV thing. So can't blame you if you want to go for it. Definitely worth a shot here. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is NAKD, Naked Brand. Okay, here is TSLA Tesla. This finishes at $1,023.50, and that is down 12% today. So there was a lot of talk over the weekend about Elon Musk selling off 10% of his shares. He held a vote on Twitter. The majority of people answered yes. So everyone was screaming that this is going to tank. Yesterday, it actually did not. Held up pretty well. But today, this was a massive red day. See this huge red candle here, down 12%. So this probably had a lot to do with just a continuation of momentum, continuation of fear, and just the overall market selling off today. But we did have some news on this today, so let's take a look at that. Have an article, actually. Tesla drops 12% for biggest fall this year after Musk stock sale proposal. Tesla stock ended Tuesday down 12% after CEO Elon Musk announced over the weekend that he plans to sell 10% of his shares. Current and former board members, including board chair Robin Denholm, Elon Musk's brother Kimball Musk, Ira Ehrenpreis, and Antonio Gracias, have also offloaded hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Tesla's shares since October 28th. So yeah, a bunch of executives, a bunch of insiders have been selling off, but we have the exact numbers for Kimball Musk. It says he exercised his options to buy 25,000 shares at $74 a piece, and then he dumped all of it, along with an additional 63.5 thousand in the $1,200 range. So he made about $109 million dumping Tesla shares. He still holds 511,000 shares. A lot of fear because Elon Musk said he's going to sell his shares, which I don't think he has yet. And insiders selling off. And our newest insider is Elon's brother, Kimball, selling off $109 million worth of shares here. And again, just a general market sell-off today. So a lot of different factors as to why the stock went down today. And yeah, today is the worst day of the year for Tesla, down 12%. So not much else to say, so let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, we have a gap up at 910. That is a bearish indicator that is telling us this stock should come back down to 910 eventually to fill this gap. There was also a gap down at 1207, and that would be a bullish indicator because that is telling us the stock should come back up to 1207 eventually to fill that gap. This also appears to be a head and shoulders in the making. We don't have confirmation just yet, but this does look like a head and shoulders is forming, which would be a bearish indicator. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 1025 and 949. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 1025, 1043, 1065, 1079, 1016, 1148, 1175, 1208, and then the high of 1243. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support should be 949, 910, 900, 883, 871, 851, 830, 817, 798, 777, 762, 744, 720, 706, 686, 668, 644, 623, 600, 573, 557, and then 537. And there is support below that, but we're not going to discuss that right now. Should not be too relevant. So right now at this current price, 1023, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide. So expect a significant amount of price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 910 to the downside, the channel starts to narrow. So expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 910. The RSI is currently at 52, so that is very average. So according to the RSI, this current price of 1023 is around fair market value, and this did 59 million in volume today. Very significant volume, so the sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. So just my opinion, not financial advice. In the short term, Tesla looks bearish to me. Longer term, of course, this is going to go back up. It's Tesla, blue chip stock. Everyone loves this, apes, institutions. But in the short term, this is not looking good. We still have a lot of FUD going on. Elon did not sell his shares yet, and he said he would. So that is yet to happen. When that does, that's not going to be good. We have the gap down at 910. So it's probably coming back down to 910 in the short term. And we do have the possible head and shoulders, which is another bearish indicator. So I think it's going to come back to at least 910 and maybe even lower. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that. And I would not recommend that just yet. Right now, this looks like it's not necessarily going into free fall, but this does look like it's pulling back pretty hard. And like I said, it should pull back to at least 910. So I would set my buy orders to 910, and if it goes below that, then you can just average down at these supports that I mentioned before. But yeah, I don't think 1023 is a great entry for going long. If you're a little patient, you should be able to get a much better price. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice. Personally, I would not do that. I don't like shorting blue chip stocks, especially Tesla. Many people have tried that before, including Michael Burry. That did not go well. You should not bet against billionaires. You should not bet against Elon Musk. That being said, again, this does look bearish in the short term, and I do think it's coming down to at least 910. So that's about a 10% downside. Decent amount of attendees. Kind of risky for what you're exposing yourself to. You know, I don't really like it, again, because I wouldn't short Tesla, and it's not the most amount of attendees in the world. But I guess if you guys want to go for it, then I can support it. There are better plays out there, but this is a decent one. If you want to go short, sure, go ahead. I'll just say please cover at 910. This is not one you want to hold on the short side. Get your attendees and get out. And once this is done pulling back, again, this should run back up to 1207 to fill that gap. Can't say how long that's going to take, but eventually it will fill. So yeah, short term, Tesla's not looking good. But longer term, it definitely will go back up. So this could be a good buying opportunity in the short term here. Not financial advice. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today. Consider taking profits if you're up. Not financial advice. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is TSLA Tesla. Okay, here is PYPL, PayPal. This finishes at $205.42 today. That is down 10.46%. So this was trending top 10 on StockTwits today. Major pullback here for a blue chip stock. Very nasty. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So there was a reason why this pulled back so much today, and that is because we had earnings and a lot of price downgrades from the hedge funds. So let's check it out. All right, so I got a short article here about PayPal. Let's read. PayPal stock is having its worst day in 20 months after a disappointing revenue forecast. PayPal shares plunged 12% after the payments company gave a revenue forecast that came in well short of analysts' estimates. It's the biggest drop for the stock since the early days of the pandemic in March 2020. PayPal investors are focusing more on the company's guidance than on an announced partnership between Venmo and Amazon. Okay, so EPS was $4.60, which missed the estimate of $4.73, and revenue was $25.4 billion, which missed the estimate of $25.8 billion. So they missed on EPS and revenue, so bad earnings. In addition to that, we have a bunch of price downgrades. Key Bank downgrades to 325, Susquehanna downgrades to 310, JP Morgan downgrades to 272, Citigroup downgrades to 300, Wedbush downgrades to 240, RBC downgrades to 298, Oppenheimer downgrades to 268, RBC Capital downgrades to 298, Credit Suisse downgrades to 280, Berenberg Bank downgrades to 310, Deutsche Bank downgrades to 260, Piper Sandler downgrades to 280, Baird downgrades to 290, SMBC Nikko downgrades to 190, DA Davidson downgrades to 275, BMO Capital downgrades to 278, Bernstein downgrades to 260, Atlantic Securities downgrades to 280. So yeah, bad earnings and a lot of price downgrades from a lot of firms. So it seems like the hedge funds, the institutional money, they're all pulling their money from PayPal right now. They don't like the stock right now. So yeah, very nasty stuff. Really bad day for PayPal. Down 10.46%. So let's go ahead and analyze here. So we do have a gap down at 225. So that would be a bullish indicator that is telling us the stock should come back up to 225 eventually to fill this gap. All right, so right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 206 and 200. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 206, 211, 213, 216, 221, 225, 228, 230, 232, 235, 239, 241, 244, 247, 250, 254, 256, 259, 262, 265, 269, nice, 271, 273, 277, 280, 283, 285, 287, 290, 292, 295, 298, 302, 305, and then the high of 310. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 201, 194, 193, 190, 187, and then 185. So right now at this current price, 205, the channels to the upside and the downside are actually pretty wide. So expect a significant amount of price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 225 to the upside, the channel starts to narrow. And if this breaks 295 to the downside, the channel starts to narrow. Expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 225 to the upside and 195 to the downside. RSI is currently at 23. So that is very oversold, very undervalued. So this could be a great buying opportunity. And this did 64 million in volume today. Very significant volume. biggest volume day of the year. So this sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. Okay, guys, so I think this one is pretty obvious. A lot of bullish indicators here. Really no bearish indicators. We have the gap down at 225. Very low RSI. And all the hedge funds think that PayPal is worth a lot more than 200 bucks. Most of them think it's worth in the high 200s or in the 300s. So from this current price to 300, that's a 50% upside. A lot of tendies to be made to the upside. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, looks like an excellent play to me. I mean, maybe this still has some more room for pullback, but it really shouldn't pull back too much more. So I have no problems with you guys buying in at 205. And if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. But yeah, 205 is an excellent price. Maybe you can do better, but really can't go wrong entering at 205. Great entry, a lot of tendies to be made, a lot of upside potential. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I really would not recommend that. As I mentioned, a lot of bullish indicators, no bearish indicators, a lot of upside potential, not too much downside potential. This isn't going to go down too much more, not too many tendies to be made to the downside. Going short here would be a high risk, low reward play. Not too smart, doesn't make too much sense. You'd be shorting for crumbs and exposing yourself to a lot of risk. There's absolutely no reason to do that. Please don't short here. This is an obvious long, and it's obvious you should not short here. So yeah, this is a blue chip stock. PayPal, this is not going anywhere. Looks like a great buying opportunity. Not financial advice. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today. Very nasty, but like I said, looks like a great buying opportunity. So load up, guys. Not financial advice. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is PYPL, PayPal. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please, like the video. Please subscribe and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.